Why does Carlito feel more confident as the
I never said anything.
So Emo, to put it in context, in their regional finals, Emo played Garen's support. We thought it was
wants to look for these team fights. Carlito, the player that you were looking to watch out for. Now in this problem, how does this change things for you?
It's a good answer to the Leona. They want to play a safe bot lane, and what I do love is that they are taking the fight to Hueba. They draft an extremely strong top side, and they're saying, we are gonna fight fire with fire. We're not gonna back down from you in game 1, and we are here to take on the challenge.
I really like the Ezreal pickup. I feel like Ezreal is a little bit underrated for its power. It is able to scale up pretty decently well. Varus does a different kind of, actually in a similar branch, but I feel like Ezreal has a little bit more flexibility in that sense.
He carries way harder than late game. Are you ever gonna get there against Varus? That's the question you need to ask.
Well, that's what we had. That's what we thought against Tribe Gaming. So let's see how this
Tribe Gaming. This is Darkhan Gaming, Brandon. They both have gaming in their name, but that's as far as the similarities go. To me, I think coming to this after the performance we saw out of Darkhan yesterday, I feel confident in saying they might be the best team here this entire tournament. And TSM, I was impressed by their performance against Tribe yesterday, like you said, especially from Carlito. This time around, he does not have any initiative. What can his team pull off?
Yesterday, I said it was fun, explosive. It's Wildrift esports. Today, I'm going to toss it. It's unpredictable. TSM going up against DKG, loading into the Rift.
I want to touch really quickly on the items from DKG. I have no real point with it. It just looks nice.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, and you have the Ruby Crystal on the Diana. I think that's a nice little touch as well. You don't want to let the Yasuo run over you in the early stages of the game. You just need to be stable and do your part. And I think that his build, his itemization speaks exactly towards that. And what did I say just now? I love teams where your players just play their role. And that's exactly what we're seeing from you here in Game 1.
taking appropriate steps to make sure they have all their bases covered, making sure that they have vision in appropriate places. But we already start to see how these lanes are going to play out. The DKG matchup, a bit of a snooze fest, but also a little bit aggressive. The bot side, TSM, they're going to lose a little bit of pressure in the bottom end, but shouldn't be all too game.
Yeah, in the early stages of the game, this Garen Renekton matchup is actually a little bit spicy. Before the Garen gets the tanky items, before he beefs up a bit, he can actually do pretty well in the 1v1. They can actually butt heads, and we can see Renekton come out on top. But until he gets the tanky items, that is, once tanky items come through, it's just going to be a brick wall for YK, and that lane becomes uninteractive. The main thing we need to focus on is what plays can we make for Tetis on the map. And it looks like it starts with the bot lane rotation.
They're trying to walk down, but that's good timing from Emo to make sure they have vision, so nothing's going to be collected in the bottom end.
I mean, to be fair, it is very telegraphed.
It was very telegraphed. Let's actually talk a little bit about this, because I'm very curious how this is going to play out. Huiba now on this VR, he needs time to scale up, needs time to farm, grabbing the Skull Crab. Now Tetis was able to play on the other side, but it was a little bit more effort on their end.
Yeah, it was a little bit more effort, and I think that comes back down to the telegraphing of the play. TSM, they devote a lot of resources. They invest the mid-roam to make sure they get Scuttle Crab, and I think that speaks towards, you know, their caution as well. When you're playing against a team like DKG, you cannot afford to make a mistake. Give them an inch, they are going to take them out. You have to cover your bases here, and I think that's definitely in the minds of TSM as well.
You mentioned earlier on that this Lee Sin pickup is something very much seen within these Southeast Asian teams. They love going for these aggressive pickups, these junglers that are able to impact the map early on. What is this kind of
we already
fit in
see
for
a
TS?
difference. We already see a difference. If this was a Southeast Asian Lee Sin, if this was TF, his item right now is gonna be lethality. He's gonna be
Ghostblade, right?
Ghostblade, 100%. He's gonna try to one-shot you. But Tetis is going for a bit more of a bruiserish build, and I think that this Lee Sin actually plays two very, I think, instrumental roles here in the draft of TSM. You do two things. Number one, you set up your Yasuo. That's huge. You need to set up the Yasuo. We always talk about how
the better
Yasuo
vibe
needs set up. The better vibe. Everything is the better vibe. All right, but we won't get into that. Number two, this is something which people think less about. Everyone sees Lee Sin, you think flashy insect kick. One thing he can do this game is just completely mock the Diana. Every time she tries to come in, charge up the move for, kick her out of the fight, get her out of here. And I think that that's really just so much flexibility from Tetis, basically. He can do anything he wants, and I like the Bruiser build to indicate that.
Really a lot more freedom to play the way they want to try and play it. Mike's just going to have to back away. A little bit of danger there, looking for a solo kill down the bottom side. Wind flashes away from the Glacial Fissure. No knock-up, no stun, but at least takes away some opportunity there. That's going to be the counter game coming in now. Nice kick from Tetis. Sets up for his jungler and his first blood from TSM.
Very, very impressive start to this game from TSM. I love what we're seeing. All right there, YK. Take it down a notch. Garen, you're supposed to be a tank, but he flashes forward. The Martian Justice, Ignite, gets it all done by himself. Sacks a bit of creeps, but that's fine. I think the game, the start, the way this is playing out, very impressive for TSM here. But looks like Dragon DKG.
4 minutes means the neutral objectives are now up. TSM get a nice window to pick up the kill in the mid lane, but as a result, they've lost the chance to fight for this Dragon. They're going to have to be content with this Rift Herald, but arguably, Rift Herald has been the more favorite objective.
It has, and I feel like, you know, DKG, they might still want to go for the fight, but we'll take a look at this replay. Two things get done very well here.
We don't have time for that, because the fight continues. Yo's losing a lot of health very quickly. Once again, dies before the fight really kicks off.
Why can't just doing a bit of spinning? That's gonna be all. I love what we saw there. We didn't quite catch the start of the fight, but given the positioning of the team fight, we can make a couple of assumptions. TSM, they swung away from the Dragon. They camped the topside river. Now DKG, they assumed that the Rift Herald would start it off, but TSM, they were camping in the bush, and they caught the Diana. That just swung the fight completely around, secured them the Rift Herald, and that's gonna be huge here. Because if Fiora gets a Rift Herald, you know what happens, right, Brandon?
Yes, sure, definitely do.
Gets themselves a couple of turrets.
Okay, there we go. That's the answer right there. TSM, on the other hand, are the ones
who get the fights. They camped the bush. This is just so good for TSM. I love the start that we're seeing. I know that I kind of wrote them off, but they're proving me completely wrong here. Very good shot calling for them.
A long presence of mind to know what they want to try and go for at these specific points in time.
Yep.
And building into that, they've been able to get a couple of nice kills, especially on the targets that matter. Onto Mike, onto Tetis. these two guys are going to be the pure bulk of damage to kind of bridge them into that late game.
Well, for now, yeah, exactly. For now, Tethys is going to be instrumental with his build path. I think he's going to devolve into a kick bot pretty soon, but that's fine because you just need to buy time for your team. Patroni, Mike, they are going to be a carries later, and here we go.
DKG with a nice pickup on Sony. He's just going to try and make his way back on the turret towards the honey fruit, but gets taken down in time. In the mid lane, they'll take straight back for win.
Yeah, and tempo is a pendulum. If you make a play on one lane, you have to sack something in the other lane.
Turtle as well. This is looking a little bit dicey.
Here, right?
YK might just get taken down. He comes in with the ultimate, but still falls, and a Rift Herald finds that first turret.
And the Rift Herald, we talk about why this is the most important objective on the map. Take away the Rift Herald, and DKG wins this play by a huge margin. But because of the Rift Herald, they might go for
That's not a kill. That's another kill in the mid lane. Surely, as Emo jumps in, Patroni's the one that picks it up.
Hueba's coming in. They're really low right now.
You have to deal with this guy. Hueba's come in now. The bulk of the carry on this man. Taking out a lot of the damage with the repost. Is the re-engage coming through from Mike, but they've taken him down. Raid boss is gone. He's too early in the game to be that threat.
And I can tell you, Hueba is frustrated right now because everyone that he tried to get on flashed away from him, healed away from him. And let's take a look at the Axe replay. This starts off, we talked about this pendulum, right? You have to sacrifice tempo somewhere. DKG, they don't want to give you an inch. They're gonna come in, they're gonna fight. Every inch of ground you want to take, we will pay for it in blood. And that's exactly what happens. They try to contest you at every turn, but they invest too many resources.
That's very graphic, Obo.
I'm a graphic. I like to describe things in depth. You know, we'll go into the gore.
Oh, a little bit into the gore realm. Does it feel like TSM have embraced that for himself right now? They woke up and they were ready to rumble.
I'm going to use a bit of an overused meme here, but I think it's very fitting. TSM woke up and they chose violence.
They chose violence.
And they're doing it also well. I think the TSM that we're seeing here today is an elevated form of the TSM we saw yesterday. And I don't know. I think that this TSM, look at this, the discipline. They know when to fight. They know when they can't fight. I think the calls from them have been very good, but that's so cheeky.
He's going to get caught out though. Barely misses out the tornado, so he won't get information of where they are. Right as the Dragon's about to spawn, so this is going to be a pretty critical team fight. They're looking for a trade back onto EMO, but it's difficult. He's still very tanky. Damage coming through from Patroni. But that's about it. They have to kind of recollect their efforts now.
Look at the Baron lane as well. YK managed to shove in the way, get a little bit of gold here. Keep in mind, TSM, they are winning the fight. They are getting the turrets. But DKG, they are winning by little increments. And this is why I said it's a horror of a mismatch with TSM. You want to take the fight, DKG will split push you to death.
Kalito, he's off by himself. He doesn't have anyone to back him up. He might just get taken down. Nice exhaust to keep way by pace to get caught out by the repost. Keeping him alive. Sony flashes forward, comes in with the dominance, with the damage to take down. It's a trade back, but DKG will come ahead with one more kill.
Brilliant stuff. It was a fight on two fronts right there. You came back as well. Yeah, that's exactly what you picked up on. I hate his name. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's so frustrating. It's not you, Brendan. You would never be able to make that play. But Diana found an amazing play on Patroni in the backline. 1v2 them while his team was trying to save Hueba. And this right now, what we're seeing from DKG, it's death by 1,000 cuts. TSM, they are team fighting so well. They're finding the place at the right time. But DKG, they're just so smart. They know which fights they can take. They're just so good. They're saying, if you want to team fight us, you have to invest more resources. You with the backline as well. You waste no time. You instantly flash into the Yasuo, and that's just going to be a clean pickup.
I'm sorry, I don't think we can go into any more replays because every time we do it, TSM chooses to take a fight. DKG with the handshake and the Glacial Fissure, not going to find much impact. YK walks right past it.
Yeah.
And yet again, these two teams so happy to team fight.
Oh boy. Now, Brandon, for our viewers at home, every time we see a Fiora, there's going to be a bit of a ticking sound. You hear a clock just in the background go tick. And when the Rift Herald gets picking up, I could, but I'm just going to get fired right after this, guys, if that's the case. When the Rift Herald gets picked up, the timer goes a little bit faster. The clock starts ticking more incessantly. And Hueba, with this Rift Herald in his back pocket, he's free to do his thing. That's why TSM identified this. They say, we have to shut him down. We have to kill him.
You know what I absolutely love though? Sony is not afraid at all to take these fights against Huiba. He has that confidence that he can make plays happen. Tennis comes in, gets the initial catch off, gets the damage down, almost taking down Win, but he's bought enough time going into stasis. That's the power of the Hourglass. Full-on team fight in the mid lane. Mikey trying to do the best he can to hold on as TSM gets dismantled by Huiba in the back. The Rift Arrow comes out alive as well. And it's just fight after fight going to DKG.
Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Give me 30 minutes, I will break down that team fight. But the little things, it's all the little details from DKG. And I think we've seen this before. They're getting the Rift Arrow.
Wait, is
They're
this
going
it?
all the way. They might go for the Nexus, Grandin.
That's 5 more seconds on the death timers.
Just the inhibitor.
A little bit too much to try and push for the end there, but 10 minutes and 50 seconds? Did I see that right?
I don't know what to tell you here, Grandin. This team is just so insanely good. And I think there's a reason I feel like DKG, I don't have the stats to back it up, but my eye test tells me, and this might be a bit of a biased thing as well, but I feel like DKG might be the best team here. It's all the little details. The stopwatch, the counter-engage position. The way Huiba plays this, picture perfect. He flashes in, he gets the one-shot onto the backline. He drops the Rift Herald to tank the turret as they keep the dive going. And it's just, I can't really cast this game anymore because I'm just gonna fanboy gush over DKG for the rest of it.
Well, surely DKG have been able to perform incredibly well against TSM, but I don't want to discount this team because they came out the gate swinging.
Look, TSM played extremely well. I think DKG are just on the next level.
They got first blood. They got a second kill once again onto Yo.
Yeah.
But despite their best efforts, DKG understand what they need to do. And they are playing into TSM strikes. They are taking team fights against the team fighting team, Omo.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about here, but, you know, Huiba, he's just gonna one-shot a Renekton.
Just leave him to his devices. He's gonna do what he needs to do to get it done. Taking down yet another. It's the second to fall from TSM roster.
Look at the minimap. Look at Diana on the minimap.
They're looking pretty tanky, but Diana's walking in the wave right now. Yo's gonna be there to try and end things off. Patroni doing the best he can to take down Win. The volleyball is gonna be there. Flashes out, gets to safety. Yo decides he wants a piece of the action, and TSM will crumble to the face of the edge.
Now, I thought Diana was running for the Nexus. I'm a bit let down that he didn't. He comes in, he says, I want a piece of the action. He gets the cleanup on the fight. What's there to say? Huiba comes in, he eviscerates Sunny, and with that in mind, even though he drops, his job is done. The rest of DKG, they come in, they clean it up. Amazing stuff here from this team. 13,000 gold at 13 minutes. This means 1,000 gold a minute. DKG, they're running away with this one.
And I want to say that Patroni has damage, but he has 2 items up against the 3 items
he has
on
damage. He has damage. It's just DKG is so accelerated.
That's so tanky, exactly. Yeah. Accelerated is the perfect way to put it. They're just able to deal with Yesro so well. Win is still a vulnerable threat for them. But even after you take down that priority target, that's still vulnerable. Here we go. There to take you down as well. Patroni commits his heal to try and escape. YK is there. He's back for revenge. And he's looking for the kill. Take down this Ezreal. TSM.
Who's escaped?
Fall back to the turret that's not there anymore, so they don't have a means out. Mike is going to come in. Patroni goes down. That's a moonfall to write things off for TSM. DKG are walking into the base. They don't care about the turrets. They have a wave in the mid lane, and the Nexus is been exposed.
They're going for the end here, Grandin.
It's the end. It's game 1 over to DKG as they close out the last few kills. Huiba's going to get caught under the fountain. It's a nice knockout from Mikey, trying to at least pull something back. But in the end, DKG will close